Sorry, I got a call. So, Rabbi Menace Friedman. So he says the reason why divorce is so high is because we put a lot of emphasis on love and sex, and people are marrying as individual men and women, and not as with the mindset of husband and wife, and where they put each other's needs before their own. They're considering, how would my wife feel about this? How would my husband, what would he think about this? And so it just really got me thinking about dating and this thing called love. And we all know that, you can love, we all love people, but we all love people and still divorce them. And you say we're better off as friends or anything like that. There are breakups. People are living together in mated relationships for 10, 15, 20 years, and then they break up. And the thing about it to me is that marriage forces you to show up when you're having difficulty. Because it's easy to get married, like they say, it's hard to get a divorce, or it can be. And so marriage forces you to show up emotionally for your partner, for yourself, and just for the benefit of the marriage. It forces you to show up in that way. It forces you to show up in that way. That's why they say no intimate relations before marriage. Because once a woman gets bonded, she cannot see the bad behavior that the man is giving her. She cannot see that he is not emotionally available. She's making excuses. And then when she has a child with him, she's doubly and triply bonded, depending on the number of children. And it becomes harder and harder for her to determine and really see the bad behavior. And again, I lost my train of thought. She becomes doubly and triply bonded depending on the number of children that she has. And so, y'all, please take my advice. I'm out here making these mistakes for you. Now, I haven't, done the intimate relations part, but that's what saved me. That has been what saved me from bonding and looking over bad behavior, along with friends who listen to me, who share my vision for what I want for my mature years, which is a future with a man who wants a future with me, who wants to be a husband. And there are women my age getting married every single day. So there's no reason why I can't be one of them. What else? So there's a part 1 to this video, which I will link in the description. I got a phone call which cut it off. And I'm on my way to a lunch date with my cousin. So I'm excited about that. And what else do I want to say? Rotationally date. That's the message that I'm giving you. Rotationally date. Build up at least 2 or 3 men in your roster that you can go on dates with, and date and continually date different men until you find one who wants to commit to you in whatever way that is for you. So if you're looking for a mated relationship, you date and date and date and date until you find a connection with a man who has the same relationship goals as you do. And don't take yourself off the market until he gives you a ring. Now, even with mated relationships, I recommend that the man get you a ring so that it could be most socially acceptable. People can see that you are with that man and you are his fiance or his wife, however the ring looks. And you might want to encourage him to introduce you that way. That's a new concept for Black people, getting a ring and all of that. And if you're living together, make sure you have the benefits of a wife, because you're doing everything that a wife would do. You know, insurance policy in case something happens to him. You give him an insurance policy in case something happens to you. You know, it gets convoluted, because once you start having expectations and requirements that are not the norm, they get mad. They get mad. And we don't want to have the conversation. And we as Black women, we're socialized to keep our feelings to ourselves and not express how we feel in a respectful manner. In a respectful manner. We're taught not to do that. And then men, when they're not really serious about you, they are dismissive. Well, that's just your insecurity speaking, or you're just being insecure. And then when you tell them how their behavior makes you feel, I feel disappointed, I feel sad. Then they want to rebut and debate about facts. Like, you say your behavior, you did X, Y, and Z, and I felt like you didn't acknowledge me as your fiance or your mate, your significant other, in the interaction that you had with that couple or that woman or that man. What do you mean? What do you mean? I didn't I turn around and you were over there talking to somebody else? Yes, but I was right beside you and you talked for like 2 to 5 minutes and didn't introduce me to anybody that you were talking to. So I walked away. Well, you should have held on a little longer. You know, that deflection, that making excuses, that stuff that makes you want to, slap him. But you got to keep calm, because that's not going to get you anywhere. And even keeping calm and speaking in a respectful manner still might not get you anywhere, because he's been using that technique for 2, 3, 4 years since his divorce. But what it really boils down to is you're not the one. Ouch. You ain't the one. You ain't the one. Because a man who really wants you, he wants you to be happy. If he wants the relationship, he wants you to be happy in the relationship. When you've explained how his behavior has made you feel, he's going to try to understand what that is. He's going to try to understand what that is and make adjustments. But a man who doesn't really care that much about you, he's not going to make those adjustments. He's going to be talking that talk about deflection and making excuses for his behavior. I've seen it all, girls. Ladies, sorry. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. I have seen it all. I've been dating all of my life. I started dating at 16. I am 64. So that's what, 50 plus years of dating? And I have seen the generational changes around dating. So that's like, wow. But I'm gonna get me a good man. I'm gonna get a good husband. I'm gonna get a good husband. So that's all I have to say about rotational dating. Get started. If you're dating and you don't have more than one man on your roster, or that you're entertaining, and I'm not talking about physically, you're losing out. you are losing out and you're wasting time. You're wasting time. So I highly recommend it. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will put in the video part 1 to rotational dating. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.